Hi, welcome. I am Tina. I'm an analytical thinker from the linear world who is 5 years into my journey of self-awakening, and I'm here to share with you a few tools which have served me well as I ventured down this path of self-discovery. This is video number 13 of 14. We are almost done. I posted my very first video about 2.5 months ago or so as an introduction as to why I would begin these videos and a YouTube channel in general at the age of 50. Feel free to hop over to that introductory video if you would like more details, but quite simply, I began this series of videos to assist people like me coming from a more linear mindset be able to step on or further down this path of self-discovery. I attempt to keep the videos to about 15 minutes in length, and I post every Thursday afternoon. Today's topic is going to be spirituality. Spirituality is the 12th chapter of the book that I am writing and goes by the same name as these videos, which is The Spiritual Awakening of an Analytical Mind. As always, I say that there's only one video left, but the videos have followed the sequence of in order of the book chapters. So there is one more chapter after this. As I mentioned in past videos, writing a book kind of plopped itself in front of or onto my path about 2.5 years ago, and more recently I was guided that I needed to get nuggets of the topics of these books out into the hands of others who may not see the book or who may need the nuggets a little bit sooner, and that's why the YouTube channel was born. So with that, let's begin with spirituality. I think I've mentioned in past videos that I was not raised in a religious household, even though my mother was. Couple that with my more linear thinking, and I really didn't believe that there was a missing part or a missing entity in my life without spirituality or religion. It was not until stepping onto this path where I began considering spirituality, to be honest. So for the most part during today's video, we're going to discuss spirituality outside of religion. And so let's get started. What is spirituality? When I attempted to find a definition of spirituality online, as I've done with most things that we've discussed, it was really more around the state of being spiritual. Outside of that, what I found was that it was mostly organizations or individuals defining spirituality themselves. And for me, that was perfect because that's how I look at spirituality. We're each defining it ourselves, and it's going to be different for each one of us. And I think that's what spirituality has become in this day and age, is that it's our own unique blend of beliefs and how we're choosing to walk our path. And that becomes our spirituality. So in creating our own definition of spirituality, we often form an awareness as there's something bigger than ourselves in motion here, right? And we're going to get into that and a little bit later in this discussion. But with spirituality or spiritual seeking, there is no right or wrong. There can be worship or not. And the path of seeking is going to be different for each and every one of us, which is great because none of our journeys should be the same as the person next to us, right? We've discussed that over and over again. And for some, maybe your spirituality becomes a blend of your traditional religious beliefs from what you grew up with, kind of married with your new spiritual seeking. And that could be tough for some as you try to figure out those, but you'll figure out the constructs that work best for you as you go. But keep in mind that whether through religious faith or spiritual seeking, opening ourselves up is a gigantic step, and seeking an understanding of life, be it ourselves or universal, is a spiritual experience, whether through religion or spiritual seeking. At the end of the day, we're all doing our best we can to discover our path in this lifetime, to figure out our truth. So as we go into this talk, we're going to break it up into 3 categories, as we always do. And today's categories are digging into spirituality, the presence we feel, and the natural world. So to begin digging into spirituality, my feeling is that by applying love, light, gratitude, compassion, kindness and having awareness of our moments and being in the present in our moments, that most of our moments become spiritual. And in doing this every day, that becomes our spirituality. And maybe that may seem overly simplistic, but I think there's some truth there with that. What I find fascinating is that in the self-designed spirituality practice is that we evolve, thus creating our own ever-changing, unique path of spiritual awakening. And maybe that's the draw for many of us linear-minded, thinkers. Spirituality feels unrestrained and limitless. We could pull from religious traditions such as Catholicism or Buddhism, but we're melding those beliefs into our unique blend of spirituality. Being the type of person I am, and maybe you are, this path gives me a sense of controlling my path of spirituality, even though I'm working on relinquishing control to the universe, right? Does that make sense? I know my spirituality is my religion. I define it. I write it in pencil because it's going to evolve. I can research and have an experience with a practice, and then I can keep it, I can modify it, or I can just let it slip away. And this way of being, this religion, speaks to my being. And so if you are the same as me. And this isn't pining religion against spirituality by any means. That's not the intent here. It's that for those of us not raised in a religious household, or for those who are seeking something different than that, that's all we're doing here. So to keep going, what I love about spirituality is that there is a subset of the population who are on this journey that differs for everyone that's on it, yet is all inclusive, and that appeals to me as well. We can feel a connection to others who are on this journey, even if we may not have anything in common with them, or even if our paths are vastly different. There's this undercurrent that we can feel, that thread of the love, light, kindness, compassion, gratitude, and I find that very amazing as well. Like there's just no judgment. There's no judgment, and there's just I don't know. I think it's beautiful. So let's get next into the presence that we feel as we journey down the spiritual path. We feel it being a feeling, a sensing, awareness of something much larger than ourselves at play. So what do we call this presence? Because being the people we are, and we've talked about it in other videos, we like to define it, right? We like to give it a name. For some of us who were not raised in the church, God may feel a little uneasy. I'm getting to the point now, after a few years, that I'm almost to the point that I'm ready for that step. For those raised in a church, God is a creator, and you're perfectly fine with that. So I laugh that we need to define it, but we will. I mostly use Great Spirit, and honestly, it's Mother Earth and Great Spirit. Those are the first two on my list as I do my daily prayer or ritual each day. For others, they may say the divine. The divine is perfectly fine as well. Anything is fine. I'm not sending judgment that I need to pass off on, but I say I surrender to divine guidance. All that is in my highest good. I say that most days. Native teachings can refer to the presence as great mystery. It is taught that we're all connected to this ever-evolving, limitless consciousness. The great mystery is the source of all energy, of consciousness. We are all one. So regardless of what name we use, there's a universal belief across time and continents that this presence exists. We just need to still our minds, allow the space to exist, and in this space resides consciousness. This consciousness is God, is the presence that we feel. And then a next part is prayer. For me personally, I never felt comfortable with prayer because of where my mind was, but once all this was kind of reintroduced and the natural world was brought in, prayer feels comfortable now. And part of that was through ceremony, and I think we discussed that a little bit. So creating a daily prayer helps kind of form a connection to the spiritual world we're beginning to walk, right? Truly is having a ritual for gratitude and intention to start our day. I know for me, it's been one of the nicest additions to my days, to my life, really. And I think it gets back to that gratitude intention to begin our days. In the end, do your own research. This was not meant, again, to pine one against the other. It's not that. It all can meld together. It can be one even within the same person, right? Religion and spirituality. It's creating the blend, creating the practice that makes sense for you and speaks to you. And evolve as it evolves as you do, kind of thing. So lastly, let's get into the natural world real quickly. Indigenous cultures of the world have long revered the natural world and had gratitude for what the natural world provides to them. You know, the native teachings have been hushed for a long time, and now they're starting to be heard. And for those who may not follow the native teachings, there is a growing population who is passionately ready to protect Mother Earth. Many cultures have worshipped deities from the natural world, and if not deities, the spirits of the natural world. There is a definite connection between us and the natural world. We need to only open ourselves up to believing and trusting in the universe. One of my favorite all-time movies is Avatar. And if you haven't seen it in a while, or if you haven't seen it at all, I would highly recommend you watch it. You know, I find the more I watch it, and I haven't in a little while, the more I appreciate all the intricacies that James Cameron put in there in this connection from the people to the ancestors to the animals to the plants. It's a beautiful, beautiful movie that talks about, you know, as people become aware and have that gratitude, how things open up. So anyway, if you're looking for something to watch some night this week, I would recommend it. So to leave this video on spirituality, you know, just know that it's so exciting to step on this path and to form a practice. And it doesn't mean you have to be all bully about getting it done. I feel like this whole journey, it evolves, and things come and go, and that's okay. Like, you're forming what practice you want to have and be part of, and I love that it can be different for every single person, but that undercurrent can exist. So have fun, design your journey, you know, have reverence for things. There's a lot of magic out there to appreciate. So that's that. Okay, so next Thursday's video, we will discuss our truth, which is the final chapter of the book and the final video of this series. Once again, I do not know what will come after that. I need to sit with that a little bit and think what I might want to do if I do want to continue on with some YouTube videos. But that will be a wrap on this book, which is exciting. And of course, I will keep you posted as to where the book stands. And hopefully that will be out here at the end of July. Yes, July. Okay, so I think that is a wrap for today. Much love and gratitude for you for joining me today. I am so appreciative that you have followed along. I hope you will join me here next Thursday as we discuss our truth as the final chapter of the book. And in the meantime, have a wonderful rest of the week and enjoy your weekend. Take care.